Immediately when this trailer started, you knew that it was Mortal Kombat. There was absolutely no doubt in my mind at what I was looking at. The color scheme sort of gave it away, and I knew straight away this was going to be a celebration of the arcade era of Mortal Kombat. It was going to be a collection of it, and that's exactly what we got. And we actually got more than what we bargained for. I think Mortal Kombat 4 is in there, Deadly Alliance is in there, although it is the Game Boy Advance version. But it's nice to know that some of the 3D era games are being acknowledged on some level. For a Mortal Kombat fan, this should be a massive win, and there's multiple reasons why. For a long time there was speculation that they weren't doing a collection because NRS didn't want to showcase that side of Mortal Kombat. They were moving away from it. With the NRS direction, separate from Midway, it did look like Mortal Kombat in the current era was trying to separate itself from games that came before it and the general design and aesthetic. But that seems to not be the case now. They seem to be acknowledging not only the classic era, but there are a bunch of games in there that no one really asked for, but obviously we're going to be happy about. You know, we're getting loads of games in there, and there's even mystery games in there that we don't know. There's something that is in this collection that we have not been made aware of. I don't need to sit here and explain to you why this is an important collection, one of the most important collections that is ever going to come out for any franchise. But to cut a long story short, in the early 90s going into the 2000s, the Mortal Kombat franchise was about as important as any other gaming franchise at the time, and it was certainly one or two, definitely one or two, top two between itself and Street Fighter in terms of importance within the fighting games. So to get an acknowledgement of these games is a step in the right direction, in my opinion. I am very excited to see how this is all going to play out and if they're going to do anything in the future, because now the only era of Mortal Kombat that doesn't have any sort of modern functionality is going to be the 3D era, and it'll be nice to see if they're ever going to acknowledge that as well. But to focus on this, we've got Mortal Kombat 1992, which came out on the arcade, SNES, Genesis, Game Boy, and Game Gear. That is going to be on the collection. We've got Mortal Kombat 2, which came out in 1993, and that came out on the arcade, SNES, Genesis, Game Boy, and 32X. Then we've got Mortal Kombat 3, which came out in 1995, and that came out on the arcade, SNES, and Genesis. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, which is the one that me and my brother played a lot, which came out in 1995, which came out on arcade and SNES. Then we've got Mortal Kombat 4, which I am very surprised about they put on this collection, and I'm quite happy to see that it's been acknowledged as well, which is going to be the arcade version only. Then you've got Mortal Kombat Advance for the GBA, which came out in 2001. MK Deadly Alliance. Now, when I saw that, I didn't read that it was Game Boy Advance, and I was like, wait, hold on a second. Did we get a 3D era game in this collection? But MK Deadly Alliance on the GBA is a 2D game with the 3D characters. So it has all the models of the 3D games, but they're done in a 2D setting because that was the limitations of the Game Boy at the time. And then there's Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition for the Game Boy Advance as well, which came out in 2003. Now there is one more game on there that hasn't been announced. We don't know what is going to show up on there. Now it is interesting because Mortal Kombat Trilogy is not on there, but Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 is there. And the most important thing here is that this has rollback. Even though this was all amazing to see, the one thing that really caught my attention in this trailer and that they seem to emphasize is John Tobias and Ed Boon standing side by side. And I don't know if it's just for the trailer. I don't know if it's to satisfy the old heads or the legacy players, but that felt like it meant something. Now, Mortal Kombat 1 did not perform the way NRS or WB wanted it to perform. I think that this collection coming out at the time that it is, with MK1's support basically coming to a halt, is no surprise. I think that they're probably trying to gauge interest in where to take Mortal Kombat next, and I think this is a fantastic way to do it. These are the glory/golden years of Mortal Kombat. I would say to everybody that's a Mortal Kombat fan, go out and support this game, because it will tell them that maybe, you know, if they're going to continue doing 2D style fighting games and they're not going to delve into 3D, that this is the general aesthetic and look of Mortal Kombat that we actually like. Of course, with new visuals, no one's going to say no to new visuals, but if they go down this road that made Mortal Kombat a household name, this could be really big for Mortal Kombat going into the future, so 100% support it. And going back to the John Tobias, Ed Boon part of the video, I really feel like with MK1 not doing as well as it did and people calling for John Tobias to return to the franchise, I feel like that part of the trailer was really letting us know that they've been listening and John Tobias might be coming back to Mortal Kombat. Now, it could just be having him there because these were his babies as well, so out of respect for his creations before he left and they went into the 3D era. They're having him in the trailer. That could be the case as well, or it could be symbolic. You know, Ed Boon does like to do a lot of symbolism and a lot of like secrets and whatever, and make you second guess yourself and wonder what they're gonna do next. I want to lean on the idea that John Tobias might be coming back, and this could be like a massive shift for Mortal Kombat. But regardless of all of that, we now have a Mortal Kombat collection. So to close off the video, because I don't want to make this too much of a long one, I just want to express my joy for this happening. We have Capcom doing collections. We have the Midway games now being represented in this collection. There's only one more of the big three that has not given us a collection yet, and judging by the reaction of this and how excited people are to see this come back and how excited people are with the Capcom one, can only assume that Harada, Michael Murray and Nakatsu are going to have a lot of messages coming their way in the coming days. Now obviously people do message them saying, hey, where's our collection? Do it with respect, just ask, there's no need to harass. But it would be nice to have a trifecta and have all of the major collections together. I really do hope that this is a new / returning to the old ways direction for Mortal Kombat. I really do hope so. The feel of the arcade era Mortal Kombat games is unlike anything. And even though I prefer the gameplay in the 3D era games, the aesthetic and the vibe and the music and the tone of the original Mortal Kombat games is unmatched. Unmatched. I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. It's got rollback, so we're all going to be able to jump online. I am not good at these Mortal Kombat games. I'm good at the 3D ones and the NRS era ones. I was never good at this, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give it a try. I think the one that I'm going to play is probably going to be Mortal Kombat 4, if I'm being completely honest. So you'll probably catch me on there. I might give Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 a try again, since that was the one I played with my brother a lot, but we shall see. Anyways, guys, State of Play delivered. I will be talking about the Marvel fighting game as well, because that really caught my attention, but that will be at a later date. So I will catch you all very soon. Take care of yourselves, have a good day, and peace.
We knew pretty early on that the game was fun to play. People were excited about it.
The most rewarding part of it is just seeing people react to it.
This is Mortal Kombat.
We knew that we were onto something.
It was such a shock to see this game.
No
It's like I can't believe
way.
this game exists.
They actually did it. And more. Wait, what?
It became something that added to
No,
the
I.
Mortal Kombat.
Good thing that I made up with Fate, right? We could get his reaction.
A part of a world that is much larger.
They actually did it. Wow. With rollback.
Template to make the games. It's a bit of the Wild West.
Every part of that game is an expression of who we were and what we wanted to do.
Flawless.
No way. When? Okay, we're getting. Alright, do you know what? Do you know what? Wait, I know Fate's streaming right now. Let me just check his stream.
Every part of that game is an expression of who we were and what
Oh no, I got something. Hang on.
we
Shit.
wanted to do.
Flawless.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he's losing his mind. He's losing his mind.